Japanese honeysuckle is a steady growing vine brought here from Asia. The leaves are opposite and oval shaped, while the flowers are very sweet smelling and white when they're young and turn yellow when they get older. We're going to look at 3 ways we can use this vine in the wild. So I'm standing in a nice big patch of Japanese honeysuckle here. You know when it's near when you know what it smells like, because it's very fragrant, smells great. You almost want to take the flowers and put them throughout your house because it smells so good. Now the reason I'm showing you Japanese honeysuckle is because it actually has some interesting uses. Now here's a flower from honeysuckle. You can use the yellow or the white ones, doesn't matter. What we're going to be doing is taking this little green piece here, and it's going to act as a plunger as it goes through this tube here on the flower. And that's going to suck all the nectar down and pull it out to the end, and you'll see a little drip. That's all you get is a drip. It's almost a tease because it tastes so good. So you saw how I broke that off right there, pulled this string out. You break it off about that far down, and you're going to get this little string. And then that little green piece, you can see it's not there no more because it's being pulled through here. And you'll feel it going through your fingers. And once it gets close to the end, you want to go slow because you're going to see like a little bit of juice right there at the end. You see that little bit of nectar coming out, and then you just suck that nectar down, and it is a very delicious sugary treat. Survival wise, it's not going to give you much, but it is going to give you a good taste in your mouth, a little bit of sugar. But if anything, it can offer us a psychological boost because it's a good flavor. Sometimes good flavors can boost our morale, believe it or not. Alright, so not only a tasty treat, but we got cordage. And for the cordage, what we're looking for is longer green pieces that are younger. They're not the older, thicker, woodier stems, you know. So we're going to just follow these vines down, find a nice long piece. Okay, so we find something decent. You can see we got a nice decent piece. And we can test the pliability so we don't waste our time with any of the junk stuff by wrapping it around our finger and giving it pulls. Once it breaks, then we throw it off. Once it doesn't break, then we know it's good to keep. Now, honeysuckle is not the strongest cordage out there in nature. We can make way stronger cordage with tulip poplar or willow, either one. But this here is a simple way to get some lashings done real quick. This is pretty much ready-made cordage. You can see that we have this nice slimy green inner layer, and out here we have a little bit darker green hairy layer, and then it gets down to some woodier parts down here. But this here, what we can do is take our fingernail and just run it along here, stripping that bark. You can see where it's peeling back there. Okay, so we're just take your fingernail and dig it in. If you don't want to use your fingernail, you can make a tool. If you don't have fingernails or you don't want to get gunk in them, you can just take a simple twig and split it in half to make this nice piece that fits together, or however it went together. Okay, so we have this piece that fits together like that. So we can take our tool, put our honeysuckle in there, clamp this down, and just start stripping bark. Okay, see how that stripped that in one nice little stroke there. You want a split piece of wood because it has that little bit of an edge on there to really grab a hold of this and clean it real nice for us. Okay, you can see it's all bunched up here in our tool. That's where I stop. Peels all that off. Okay, now I'm gonna break this off here. Finish it down here, this little knot. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to work with right here. You can see it's not a very thick piece of cordage, but we can wrap it around my finger and show you that it is quite pliable. Now, with that being said, that it is pliable, it's not the greatest for knots if you cinch them down too tight. Okay, here's just a simple half hitch. Now that's about as tight as you want to go. If you tighten this down too much, it's just going to break. But you can get it to where you can lock some things down on your shelter or whatever you got to do that's lightweight jobs. So there's some honeysuckle cordage. There's tons of it behind me here, and it's all over the woods around here. So we can use plenty of it for simple little tasks for lashings and such. Here's our older honeysuckle vine. You can see it's growing around this pine here and growing up it and twisting around itself. And you can see all this beautiful bark hanging here that peels off just like cedar almost. And we can take and pull all this stuff off. And once you get a good hunk of it, start peeling it down. It really comes off in nice pieces. You don't want to get down past the outer layer because it's wet on the inside. You don't want to get to that green layer like on our cordage because it is green underneath here. And that stuff gets wet. But you just keep running your hands along this, pulling these pieces off, and you'll end up with some pretty decent tinder. So this is what you're going to end up with if you get a nice ball of honeysuckle bark. You can see it's very, very dry, and you can see the fibers falling off of it. So it's just like cedar, the best way to describe it, kind of like tulip poplar as well. It's a great tinder, and you'll see that in a second. So get about this much if you already got a nice fire lay set up like I do here. First, we need to rough up the bark like any other tinder. I recommend doing it over your fire lay like this, so all of your excess fibers cover your kindling as it falls down. Then place it halfway inside your fire lay and fluff it up so sparks can catch it easier. Give it a good strike, and when you see flames, tuck it all the way under or pull your fire lay over the top. Be sure to be careful not to smother the flame and put it out. The fire should do the rest, giving you more time to secure any loose tools and get on to the next task.